Now, the table is always hot with current events and social issues, but sometimes the heat can get a little intense. Let's turn the temp down, take a breather, and get into this week's topic cool down. So, Andre, how do you like to be romanced, and how do you go about romancing someone?
Many of the things that like make me feel like I'm being romanced or like courted are correlated to my love languages, which are physical touch, quality time, and words of affirmation. Often when people think of physical touch in like romantic love languages, they automatically think of sex, and that's not the case. Like for me, sex is a very small part of that particular aspect of my romantic love language. I mean, it's the non sexual touches that really make me feel like you're courting me, like a touch on the shoulder, a hand, leaning against me, hugging me, and general affection is awesome. Then there's the quality time. Now, this doesn't mean that we have to talk every fucking day, hours upon hours on end, but more so that you are making sure that you are factoring me into your day. Like when we FaceTime or hang out with each other, you make sure that you're present with me. And if you're busy or something comes up where you can't spend time with me or you can't FaceTime or call me or talk to me, you just let me know. And lastly, words of affirmation are a huge deal for me. I'm not saying that you have to validate me because I have self confidence, but compliments on my appearance, my career, and saying I love you go a long way with me. I mean, you can never say I love you and I'm attracted to you too much for me. And every time you reaffirm it, it just makes me, so much more secure in the relationship. And as far as how I romance someone, it's pretty similar. Like I'm very physically affectionate. I make time for them so that they know that they are a priority. And I'm very honest about my attraction to them and how I feel about them. But what about you, Daquon? I'm really fucking interested to hear this, bitch. I want to hear this tea.
In terms of romance, non-existent. I don't like that shit. I'm kidding. Um, I think I'm pretty similar in terms of I love quality time. Uh, I'm not really a touch person.
I was about to say. I want to say.
Listen, there's sometimes when people are like a little too touchy feely, and I'm like, okay, girl, like calm down, calm down. But I think yeah, quality time is one of my biggest ways, and I have to emphasize quality time, not quantity of time,
Say that shit,
because
bitch.
I don't need text every single day. I don't need a text every single hour. I don't need to hang out with you every single day. But the fact that I make time for you or you make time for me, that is enough. Like I don't care if
Yeah.
we're just like on the phone, just like chilling. Like we're both
Yeah.
just like, cleaning up or doing dishes or like just the fact that we are together in a space, either physically or on the phone or on FaceTime or something like that, we don't even have to be having like a whole ass conversation. And that's something that I like to receive as well as how I show love to other people because I remember having a conversation with my dad because he's like, "Why every time you and your mom get on the phone, y'all just be on the phone and not talking? Like, isn't the point of a phone call to talk?" And it's like, "No, like we're showing love by just being in the presence of each other, even if it's
Mm-hmm.
like, through a phone. It's still just like I I have this time reserved to my day for you. Like I'm not out here going to talking to other people or, doing a whole bunch of other things. Like we're just here with each other. And I think that's so important for me, as well as in terms of words of affirmation. I love a good celebration. Like I want to celebrate you as much as you celebrate me. Like it doesn't need to be like every single thing, but I love when it's like somebody just gets you and like your passions and your
Yeah.
interest and everything like that and just being like, I saw that video, like those numbers are numbering, or you slayed that look, or just like some type of thing that shows that you're not you're just me and
Yeah.
what I like, my interests, and you are engaging in those interests. I think showing interest in somebody else's interest is the most romantic thing that you could ever do. Like if I love going to theater and you're just like, all right, put some clothes on, we're about to go see this Broadway show, like, okay.
Yeah.
Like that is the best
You about
thing
to
you
get the
could
GOG
do.
GOG 3000, yeah, with the twister with.
Not the Twister Wizard. But you know,
Yeah.
that is how I like to receive romance, and that is also how I like to give romance and
Yeah.
love.
And I think that people oftentimes, like you said, I really want to go back to what you said about the quality time thing, is that so many people like misconstrue what quality time is. Because like everybody thinks it's just, oh, every single fucking day, I am the only thing you're talking about, only thing that you're like, here with. And it's like, no, that's not what it is. Like, I'm okay that you have days where you're like, baby, I just need time. I just need a break. I just need to breathe right now. I just need kind of time to go with me. To me, saying that is quality time because it's letting me know that you're factoring me into the day. You're saying that I want to make sure that you know that there's nothing going on between us. There's nothing like bad going on. I just got shit going on right now. Or I'm just going through this thing, or hell, I just need a break. I just need to breathe a little bit or just reconnect to me. And that's honestly all most people are asking for when it talks about quality time. And then when you do make time with that person and you do FaceTime or you do talk, you're present with them. You don't have everything else going on. You're actually spending that time to say, hey, let me check in on you. What's been going on with you? How are you doing? And like you said, with that words of affirmation thing, it's not always just, gassing everybody up. It's about just really having that authentic, truthful comment. Because I can say, oh yeah, I love that video you did way back when. It's kind of like, but what was the video about? What did I
Right.
do in the video? Or shit
Mm-hmm.
like that. And like you said, I think that the biggest thing that people forget is that when it comes to that time, yes, when you are with somebody, they are going to have things that you're not interested in. There are going to be things they do that you're like, oh, bitch, that ain't shit. I ain't the fuck. I don't know what the fuck this damn sports shit is. But like, I think it's really funny. I don't know if we talked about this before, but like, there's this video of Beyonce in the stands at some sports show. And like, I think you know what I'm talking about. And like, everybody's kind of like, oh, it's time for me to clap. And like, it was really funny because like, the first thing I thought of was like, honestly, like if my man was interested in sports, that would fully be me. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but when
Fully. So that is me. I
he's
am
like, right.
Beyonce in that moment.
But like you do it because you know that this brings your person joy. It brings the person that you're with joy, and you're like, I want to be a part of that joy. That's all it really is. It's like you don't have to understand shit. You ain't even gotta watch. You could be like, I'm here with you, baby. Yes. Oh no, yes, they strike goal or whatever the fuck. I don't know, fucking baseball, basketball, football terms, whatever my guess.
Right. Like it doesn't have to be something that's this huge thing. Like even if I'm just sitting up here watching you play video games, but you're still with me and we have this there's this I don't know, I always
I
feel
know what
like
you mean.
there's this connection. You don't have
Yeah.
to say anything, you don't have to do anything, but even if you're focused on playing the video game, but give me a look every now and then, or there's something
Yes.
that just like we have that connection that we're present with each other. That's all I need.
Right. Or like just the idea of seeing your partner happy. Like for me,
Right.
bitch, if we sit in front of Charmed or we watching Charmed, you could be like, oh, this fucking show in your head. Oh God, this fucking yes, let's watch, let's go into it. But like just the fact of taking joy in your partner's joy. Because you sit me in front of an episode of Charm, bitch, I am glued to the screen. I am wearing the biggest smile. I've watched every fucking episode of Charm multiple times over, but every time I watch it's like the first time. And so I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, what's gonna happen next? Fully like I know every line that they're about to say, but I'm still like, what's gonna happen? And like, I think that is such that is such an example of love. Is like it's compromise. It's saying, even though this doesn't really make me, it's not giving what it needs to give to me, but because it gives that to you, I want to be there with you. I want to get excited with you. And that is sometimes the most sexiest romantic thing that you can do is just to take joy in your partner's joy.
Right. Like it doesn't necessarily have to make you happy, or it doesn't have to make me happy, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
just happy that you're happy. And that's it.
Exactly. So many children grow up never knowing the full scope of what their culture has contributed to society and history. So it's time for a change. Let's take a pause, rewind, and remind the world just how we did that. In an article written on LafayetteQ1067.com, we learned that Stevie Wonder was a child prodigy. Born prematurely and blind since just after birth, he began playing piano, harmonica, and drums at a young age and signed to Motown when he was just 11 years old. Though he experienced some teenage success, including the release of Sign, Seal, Deliver, I'm Yours, My Cherie Amour, and Uptight, Everything's Gonna Be All Right, it wasn't until the 1970s when Stevie Wonder found his groove. Superstition and You Are the Sunshine of My Life both achieved commercial success and brought Wonder 3 Grammy Awards. 2 more Grammys followed in 1974 and 1975. The 1980s brought Stevie Wonder into the mainstream, and Stevie used his profile to advance charitable and political causes, most notably the campaign to make Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday a national holiday. There were retrospective albums, work with films and TV and television, and charity performances and appearances. The decade also saw the release of what is considered to be Wonder's greatest hit, I Just Called to Say I Love You, which garnered the Academy Award for Best Original Song in 1985. The pace of the new material slowed for Wonder throughout the past 3 decades, though he continues to make appearances and limited tours. His last public appearance was a beautiful rendition of the Lord's Prayer at Aretha Franklin's funeral in August 2018. But he continues to have a lasting impact on music. He's amassed 30 top 10 hits, including 10 number 1 hits, won 25 Grammys plus a Lifetime Achievement Award, and he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Black people are just so talented. So good.
Delicioso.
Right. In an article from blackpast.org, we learned that Oscar Micheaux was the quintessential self-made man, novelist, filmmaker, and relentless self-promoter. Micheaux began his career with door-to-door sales of his early writings to neighboring farmers. Encouraged by the modest success from his first novel, Micheaux gave up farming to write 6 other novels about this period and region. He was contacted by the Black-owned Lincoln Film Company in Nebraska to adapt his third novel, The Homesteader, to film. Micheaux rejected the offer and instead moved to Chicago, where he made his own film version of his novel. The Homesteader was the first full-length feature film written, produced, and directed by an African American. It was also a commercial success. Significantly, his films in the 1920s and 1930s contrasted sharply with the Hollywood image of Blacks as lazy, ignorant, and sexually aggressive. Many white critics decried Micheaux's amateur movie-making skills, yet his audiences devoured his product, making him the most successful Black writer, producer, and director in the United States until his death in Charlotte, North Carolina in 1951. In 1987, Oscar Micheaux was memorialized with a Hollywood Walk of Fame star, and 2 years later, he was given the posthumous award by the Black Filmmakers Hall of Fame and the Directors Guild of America.
Bad bitch things.
Period. Like, not only did I write this, not only did I produce this, but I also directed it. And it's a first. Gotta love a Black first.
As always, 8, clearing the fucking plate for these bitches. Honey, we stay clearing these bitches. Stay. Now, as always, thank you all so much for watching, and keep the conversation going down in the comment box below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if you are listening to us on our podcast, please rate and review on whatever platform you're using. You can also follow our podcast on Instagram and TikTok at the Melanin Margin for updates of new content.
And if you'd like to follow each of us, our handles are at Daquon MUE.
And at Andre Talks a Lot.
Now we will see you all next time on the Melanin Margin, where our goal is always to bring the marginalized to the spotlight in any way we can. Goodbye now.